Good morning. Happy Saturday. Woo woo. It's the weekend. I'm going to wait for somebody to join. I'm sitting here all by myself. Oh, here comes some people. Say hi. If you're watching this after the fact, say hashtag replay. Do you like my new mug? Why, hello. Isn't it cute? My husband was like, "Is that another mug?" And I said, "No. This was in the back of the cabinet for ages. I just got it out." It's not new at all. All right. Good morning. Hey, Sandy. Hey, Charlotte. It's July 2nd, y'all. All right. There's a note at the top of this. You ain't watching replay, Kay. This is live, girl. King Hezekiah collected many of Solomon's proverbs, and he ordered the Levites to use the Psalms of David and Asaph. The proverbs he collected and the undated proverbs are presented here, followed by the undated Psalms. More Proverbs of Solomon. Proverbs 25:1 through 29:27. These are more Proverbs of Solomon, collected by the advisors of King Hezekiah of Judah. It is God's privilege to conceal things, and the king's privilege to discover them. No one can comprehend the height of heaven, or the depth of the earth, or all that goes into the king's mind. Remove the impurities from silver, and the sterling will be ready for the silversmith. Remove the wicked from the king's court, and his reign will be made secure by justice. Don't demand an audience with the king or push for a place among the great. It's better to wait for an invitation to the head of the table than to be sent away in public disgrace. Just because you've seen something, don't be in a hurry to go to court. For what will you do in the end if your neighbor deals you a shameful defeat? When arguing with your neighbor, don't betray another person's secret. Others may accuse you of gossip, and you will never regain your good reputation. Timely advice is lovely, like golden apples in a silver basket. To the one who listens, valid criticism is like a gold earring or other gold jewelry. Trustworthy messengers refresh the snow in summer. They revive the spirit of their employer. A person who promises a gift but doesn't give it is like a cloud and wind that brings no rain. Patience can persuade a prince, and soft speech can break bones. Do you like honey? Don't eat too much, or it will make you sick. Don't visit your neighbors too often, or you will wear out your welcome. Telling lies about others is as harmful as hitting them with an axe, wounding them with a sword, or shooting them with a sharp arrow. Dog's growling. Putting confidence in an unreliable person in times of trouble is like chewing with a broken tooth or walking on a lame foot. Singing cheerful songs to a person with a heavy heart is like taking someone's coat in cold weather or pouring vinegar in a wound. If your enemies are hungry, give them food to eat. If they are thirsty, give them water to drink. You will heap burning coals of shame on their heads, and the Lord will reward you. As surely as north wind brings rain, so a gossiping tongue causes anger. It's better to live alone in the corner of an attic than with a quarrelsome wife in a lovely home. Good news from far away is like the cold water of the thirsty. If the godly give in to the wicked, it's like polluting a fountain or muddying a spring. It's not good to eat too much honey, and it's not good to seek honors for yourself. A person without self-control is like a city with broken down walls. Honor is no more associated with fools than snow with summer or rain with harvest. Like a fluttering sparrow or a darting swallow, an undeserved curse will not land on its intended victim. Guide a horse with a whip, a donkey with a bridle, and a fool with a rod to its back. Don't answer the foolish arguments of fools, or you will become as foolish as they are. Be sure to answer the foolish arguments of fools, or they will become wise in their own estimation. Trusting a fool to convey a message is like cutting off one's feet or drinking poison. A proverb in the mouth of a fool is as useless as a paralyzed leg. Honoring a fool is as foolish as honoring a fool is as foolish as tying a stone to a slingshot. A proverb in the mouth of a fool is like a thorny branch brandished by a drunk. An employer who hires a fool or a bystander is like an archer who shoots at random. As a dog returns to its vomit, so a fool repeats his foolishness. Gross. There is more hope for fools than for people who think they are wise. A lazy person claims, "There's a lion on the road." Yes, I'm sure there's a lion out there. As the door swings back and forth on its hinges, so the lazy person turns over in bed. Lazy people take food in their hand, but don't even lift it to their mouth. Lazy people consider themselves smarter than 7 wise counselors. Interfering in someone else's argument is as foolish as yanking a dog's ears. Just as damaging as a madman shooting a deadly weapon is someone who lies to a friend and then says, "I was only joking." Fire goes out without wood, and quarrels disappear when gossip stops. A quarrelsome person starts a fight as easily as hot embers light charcoal or fire lights wood. Rumors are dainty morsels that sink deep into one's heart. Smooth words may hide a wicked heart just as a pretty glaze covers a clay pot. People may cover their hatred with pleasant words, but they're deceiving you. They pretend they're kind, but don't believe them. Their hearts are full of many evils. While their hatred may be concealed by trickery, their wrongdoing will be exposed in public. If you set a trap for others, you will get caught in it yourself. If you roll a boulder down on others, it will crush you instead. A lying tongue hates its victims, and flattering words cause ruin. Don't brag about tomorrow, since you don't know what the day will bring. Let someone else praise you, not your own mouth, a stranger, not your own lips. A stone is heavy and sand is weighty, but the resentment caused by a fool is even heavier. Anger is cruel and wrath is like a flood, but jealousy is even more dangerous. An open rebuke is better than hidden love. Wounds from a sincere friend are better than many kisses from an enemy. A person who is full refuses honey, but even bitter food tastes sweet to the hungry. A person who strays from home is like a bird that strays from its nest. The heartfelt counsel of a friend is as sweet as perfume and incense. Never abandon a friend, either yours or your father's. When disaster strikes, you won't have to ask your brother for assistance. It's better to go to a neighbor than to a brother who lives far away. Be wise, my child, and make my heart glad. Then I will be able to answer my critics. A prudent person foresees danger and takes precautions. The simpleton goes blindly on and suffers the consequences. Get security from someone who guarantees a stranger's debt. Get a deposit if he does it for foreigners. A loud and cheerful greeting early in the morning will be taken as a curse. A quarrelsome wife is as annoying as a constant dripping on a rainy day. Stopping her complaints is like trying to stop the wind or trying to hold something with greased hands. As iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. As workers who tend to a fig tree are allowed to eat fruit, so workers who protect their employer's interests will be rewarded. As a face is reflected in the water, so the heart reflects a real person. Just as death and destruction are never satisfied, so human desire is never satisfied. Fire tests the purity of silver and gold, but a person is tested by being praised. You cannot separate fools from their foolishness, even though you grind them like grain with mortar and pestle. Know the state of your flocks, and put your heart into caring for your herds. For riches don't last forever, and the crown might not be passed to the next generation. After the hay is harvested and the new crops appear, and the mountain grasses are gathered in, your sheep will provide wool for clothing, and your goats will provide the price for a field, and you will have enough goat's milk for yourself, your family, and your servant girls. The wicked run away when no one is chasing them, but the godly are as bold as lions. When there is moral rot within a nation, its government topples easily, but wise and knowledgeable leaders bring stability. A poor person who oppresses the poor is like a pounding rain that destroys the crops. To reject the law is to praise the wicked. To obey the law is to fight them. Evil people don't understand justice, but those who follow the Lord understand completely. Better to be poor and honest than to be dishonest and rich. Young people who obey the law are wise. Those with wild friends bring shame to their parents. Income from charging high interest rates will end up in the pocket of someone who is kind to the poor. God detests the prayers of a person who ignores the law. Those who lead good people along an evil path will fall into their own trap, but the honest will inherit good things. Rich people may think they are wise, but a poor person with discernment can see right through them. When the godly succeed, everyone is glad, and when the wicked take charge, people go into hiding. People who conceal their sins will not prosper, but if they confess and turn away from them, they will receive mercy. Blessed are those who fear to do wrong, but the stubborn are headed for serious trouble. A wicked ruler is as dangerous to the poor as a roaring lion or attacking bear. A ruler with no understanding will oppress his people, but one who hates corruption will have a long life. A murderer's tormented conscience will drive him into the grave. Don't protect him. The blameless will be rescued from harm, but the crooked will be suddenly destroyed. A hard worker has plenty of food, but the person who chases fantasies ends up in poverty. The trustworthy person will get a rich reward, but a person who wants quick riches will get into trouble. Showing partiality is never good, yet some will do wrong for a mere piece of bread. Greedy people try to get rich quick, but don't realize they are headed for poverty. In the end, people appreciate honest criticism far more than flattery. Anyone who steals from his father and mother and says, "What's wrong with that?" is no better than a murderer. Greed causes fighting. Trusting the Lord leads to prosperity. Those who trust in their own insight are foolish, but anyone who walks in wisdom is safe. Calm yourself. What are you doing? Whoever gives to the poor will lack nothing, but those who close their eyes to poverty will be cursed. When the wicked take charge, people go into hiding. When the wicked meet disaster, the godly flourish. Whoever stubbornly refuses to accept criticism will suddenly be destroyed beyond recovery. When the godly are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked are in power, they groan. The man who loves wisdom brings joy to his father, but if he hangs around with prostitutes, his wealth is wasted. A just king gives stability to his nation, but the one who demands bribes destroys it. To flatter friends is to lay a trap for their feet. Evil people are trapped by sin, but the righteous escape, shouting for joy. The godly care about the rights of the poor, the wicked don't care at all. Mockers can get a whole town agitated, but the wise will calm anger. If a person takes a fool to court, there will be ranting and ridicule, but no satisfaction. The bloodthirsty hate blameless people, but the upright seek to help them. Fools vent their anger, but the wise quietly hold it back. If a ruler pays attention to liars, all of his advisors will be wicked. The poor and the oppressors have this in common. The Lord gives sight to the eyes of both. If a king judges the poor fairly, his throne will last forever. To discipline a child produces wisdom, but a mother is disgraced by an undisciplined child. When the wicked are in authority, sin flourishes, but the godly will live to see their downfall. Discipline your children, and they will give you peace of mind, and will make your heart glad. When people do not accept divine guidance, they run wild. But whoever obeys the law is joyful. Words alone will not discipline a servant. The words may be understood, but they are not heeded. There is more hope for a fool than for someone who speaks without thinking. A servant pampered from childhood will become a rebel. An angry person starts fights. A hot-tempered person commits all kinds of sin. Pride ends in humiliation, while humility brings honor. If you assist a thief, you only hurt yourself. You are sworn to tell the truth, but you dare not testify. Fearing people is a dangerous trap, but trusting the Lord means safety. Many seek the rule's favor, but justice comes from the Lord. The righteous despise the unjust, and the wicked despise the godly. Okay. Let's read I'm That Girl, because I'm that girl. We are on day 60. All right, we are in the section titled What the Rice? On page 191. In this section titled The Bible Backs Up the Science. Science only shadows what the Bible has already laid out and encouraged as bedrock foundations, truth for life. As an example, think of the verse, do all things without complaining, Philippians 2:14. Research shows that most people complain once a minute during typical conversation. God does not want us to complain for so many reasons, but surely one of the foremost being He knows it is awful for our health. When you complain, your body releases the stress hormone cortisol. Cortisol directs oxygen, blood, and energy away from everything but the systems that are essential to immediate survival. One effect of cortisol, for example, is that it raises both your blood pressure and your blood sugar. All this extra cortisol released by frequent complaining greatly impairs your immune system. It makes you more susceptible to whatever colds and flu are going around, not to mention high cholesterol, diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. It even makes the brain more vulnerable to strokes. Complaining literally shrinks your brain. Yep, a study from Stanford University has shown that complaining shrinks the hippocampus, an area of the brain that's critical to problem solving and intelligent thought. Damage to the hippocampus is serious, especially when you consider that it's one of the primary brain areas destroyed by Alzheimer's. Even complaining about the weather is not good for your health. Let's be that girl who is not part of the norm, complaining at least once per minute. Let's pull complaining entirely out of our speech. What is the opposite of complaining? Gratitude. Psalm 92:1 tells us it is a good thing to give thanks. There is not just one, but hundreds of places in the Bible encouraging us to be thankful, and once again, science thoroughly agrees. Gratitude, rather than shrinking the brain as complaining does, enhances it. A study published in 2015 edition of Frontiers in Psychology showed that people who express and feel gratitude have a higher volume of gray matter in the right inferior temporal gyrus, sciencey speak for the right part of the brain. Gratitude also activates and regulates an area of the brain called the hypothalamus. A 2009 series of studies using MRIs of brains showed the limbic system in general, of which the hypothalamus is part of, is activated during gratitude. This, in turn, regulates all kinds of bodily functions, including hunger, sleep, body temperature, and metabolism. Yet another method shown to be as effective, if not more so, is medication for depression. You guessed it, gratitude. In one study, scientists asked participants to write a few sentences each week, focusing on particular topics. One group wrote about things they were grateful for that had occurred during the week. A second group wrote about daily irritations or things that frustrated them, and the third wrote about events that had affected them, with no emphasis on them being positive or negative. After 10 weeks, those who wrote about gratitude were significantly more optimistic and felt better about their lives. And get this, they also had fewer visits to physicians than those who focused on the sources of their aggravation. Robert Emmons, Ph.D., professor of psychology at UC Davis and leading scientific expert on the science of gratitude, says this: the practice of gratitude can have dramatic and lasting effects in a person's life. It can lower blood pressure, improve immune function, and facilitate more sleep. Gratitude reduces lifetime risk for depression, anxiety, substance abuse disorders, and is a key resiliency factor in the prevention of suicide. But gratitude doesn't just positively affect your health. Let's have a quick wee look at what gratitude can do for your marriage. Focusing on everything that's wrong with your partner, complaining in your mind or out loud, is a quick and easy way to be miserable. There's a growing body of research that shows words and actions of gratitude in marriage are crucial to success. One study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that the expression of spousal gratitude were a significant predictor of marital quality. The data is in. Gratitude-focused couples are less likely to seek divorce. Okay. Practice some gratitude today, I'd say. Okay, guys, thanks for joining me this morning. I will be live for breakfast. I'm going to make me a little bit of a... I need a sweater. I'm going to make a little... patriotic parfait. Nothing too fancy, but I'm going to make a quick breakfast parfait for myself to enjoy. And I'm going to make it with y'all in just a few minutes. I have to let the dog out to do his business. This morning constitutional. Why are you chewing your bed? He's a little rambunctious this morning, so I have to let him out. And then I will be back to make a little parfait. That's awesome. You're grateful for so much. That's awesome, Mallory. Good for you. All right, guys, thanks for joining me this morning. I'll be back tomorrow morning for more devotions, and I hope to see you live for breakfast in just a few minutes. Have a great day. I love you guys.